opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
Good morning, everybody. Andrew Perry live in the TCN studios in Brampton, Ontario with my good friend Kathleen Black. Thank you very much for coming on the show today. I appreciate it. Kathleen Black is a real estate coach. Kathleen Black Coaching and Consulting. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I've lost my glasses, so if I'm squinting a little bit, I apologize, but I think the majority of us will be tuning in a little bit later to the audio. But make sure if you're watching live, please engage with us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook. We're going to kick it right off. Again, thank you for coming on the show. Why don't you do a quick little intro for those who might not know you, might not have heard of your business, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. I'm sure it's going to be fun as always. But I run a coaching consulting company. So we have a team of coaches who support mostly people in the real estate business, but real estate industry in expanding their business into team, right? So how to expand, how to evolve. So we help them with kind of everything under that umbrella, you know, hiring, recruiting, compensation, personality profiling. So a lot of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Right. Well, I guess you're super busy because, I mean, I've noticed like there's teams everywhere, right? I mean, is that, in your opinion, the future of real estate?
I think it's been the future of real estate. I think it's the present of real estate. I mean, I was doing a podcast actually with Paul Barron and his crew at Leading Edge, and he was talking about a stat at the latest Inman event, and I'm not going to quote it perfectly, but it was something like 28 or more % of people in attendance either wanted to join a team or be on a team, and it was an ever-increasing statistic. So, I mean, we've been working with team for 11 years now.
That's how long you've been doing the coaching?
Yeah.
11 years. Yeah. Wow. But you're not limited to just Ontario or Canada. Like you're North America, global?
Well, we target, global, definitely. We have clients in the U.S. and our programs are available online anywhere internationally. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, but you know what, you do like one-on-one coaching, but I see that you do offer a lot of like classes as well, right?
Yeah, we do workshops, buyer system, listing system, team expansion, communication. We do some great ones in the fall that I really love. One of them is like strategy, budgeting, profit and loss, you know, mission, vision, values, like how to align a team and move forward together.
Okay. And you also have some pretty big events that we'll talk about later, but you incorporate essentially all aspects of education in your business, right?
Well, yeah, we have online coaching programs that are literally watch at your own rate. We have one-on-one, we have the workshops and DISC personality profiling workshops, and then we have Ultimate Team Summit and Ultimate 100 Deal Plus Mastermind. Wow. Which is going to expand this year. Actually, we're expanding it because niches are great, right? Because everyone associates, but all of a sudden from 100 Deal Plus Mastermind, so many people thought they couldn't come to Ultimate Team Summit unless they sold 100 homes or a team sold 100 homes. Which 60% of them already do who come to Summit. But we're starting next year masterminds just for business expansion. So if you're not even a team yet, we want to open up and support those people. So our first one will be in January, which will be fun.
That's a really big, like a real helpful for people like me, especially because we've talked about you multiple times on the show. We've had many people who have been to the 100 Deal Summit. Like we've had Emily Berry, Andrew Foliato, like he speaks there, right? And does some training. And, you know, what I really love about what you offer is essentially you help others like me from not making the big mistakes, even the big financial mistakes that others have in the past. And so I love that you don't limit it just to people who are already starting a team. So that's great. So before we get into the teams and what you guys offer, take me from the very beginning. How did you get started in the career?
Well, I started as a realtor. I mean, I'm still technically licensed. Enough to have my license. For sure. And I got into the industry, though, from investment properties. My ex-husband and I had investment properties. We were trying to build our portfolio, and it came to a point where he kind of said, you're assessing the properties, you're deciding which ones, which terms, you're already doing all of this. Like, why don't you become a realtor? And I did not want to. For anyone watching, I had little kids. You have a young child. I was already towing them, to show units, and I was painting, sanding, sweat equity 100%. Yeah. They joked and called us the no money miracle as we found a way to grow investment property holdings, I guess you would say. Yeah. And I just didn't want another job. I was like, how the heck am I going to do anything else, right? But obviously I did. I got into real estate, and I ended up to join a team and get very, very busy. I was top 1% on our board the first year in the business. Smokes. And within 6 months, I got separated. So I had a lot of fun figuring out how to sell a lot of homes while taking care of my kids.
Wow.
So it was a great opportunity, and it gave me a livelihood, right? Mm-hmm. So real estate's, given me a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what? It's great to see, people overcoming adversity, because I got a lot of help at home. My wife's amazing, and if I didn't have her, and if I didn't have her side of the family, I don't know if I would be able to be as successful as I was. So the fact that you were able to build this huge business after separation is amazing. So so then how did you get into actually teaching?
Coaching.
Coaching.
Sorry. Yeah, well, teaching. I started the sales team I worked with, started a real estate coaching company very quickly when I started selling. So I think even within a year of me selling, they had started their first kind of team building event. So that was the first team specific coaching company in Canada, actually, for real estate, which is kind of cool. Wow. So none of the other big names even had team coaching as a thing. It just wasn't really existing on their website. Mm-hmm. So it was really neat. So they had me come in. I kind of went through all the workbooks before the first event, but I wasn't involved in it yet. They were away on a event in Halifax, actually, and I put together a presentation about the consultant's approach. And that ended up now, that presentation, the principles we established there are the backbone of our entire company. So everything we do is consultant's approach. So it was a pivotal moment, but I was really busy selling. Essentially, I wanted to coach. I have a psychology background, and I just love what makes people tick. I feel like I coached my sales clients the same way I coach my clients now, and now I coach coaches, right? Mm-hmm. It's all the same thing, really. So essentially got it started into coaching, and the coaching business is hard. It's like teams. Yes. I always say, building a successful coaching business is like building a successful restaurant. We know what the odds are for this, and teams are kind of the same. The majority of them it's hard, right? So that coaching business had 3 owners not getting along, and by this point, within the company was 18 months live, and I became director of coaching. The director of coaching was there, had to go in another direction, and essentially it's kind of it all evolved from there, because the other 2 owners left the company, and eventually I kind of said, hey, cool, I'm running the company and I want to, but I was listening to a lot of Think and Grow Rich, and I know people say it's a dated book, but if you haven't read the book, actually, and I will note, I was listening to it, because that's important, because I was a mom with little kids, and all I had time was in the shower in the morning, I would listen to a chapter of Think and Grow Rich. And something in me kept being you are this business. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened, but I sat down. I was I'll run the company, no problem. I love it. It was like a child to me. I was I'll be here forever, but I need 50% ownership. So I got 50% ownership. And the reason I'm telling you this story is for people to see why you lean into the odds. I got 50% ownership only just before to have the books open up and find out that the company was in about $160,000, $180,000 in debt. Only a couple years old company. You wonder, how do you do this, right? But I saw it as this golden opportunity. I didn't sit there and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to own $80,000 in debt the minute I sign off on this. I was I believe in this. I believe in teams. And so when I finally sold my shares back and started this company, people are like, are you still going to do team? Like, yeah, it's in my blood. Like, I love it. I believe in it. And I think people excel in high performance environments. Like, whether it's their brokerage or, their immediate people, like it's important. And I do believe that's the future of the industry. Like high performance environments that support and elevate our professionalism, I do believe is. Yeah.
I agree, because I mean, especially how my perception of the real estate industry was, I didn't really know about teams when I got into the business. I saw the Mark Ferris team. That's where I grew up in Barrie.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd see all these. I just didn't really understand what goes into something like that, because I always thought, like, if you're a realtor, you show up and clock in at 11 o'clock. You get your coffee and you do some social media stuff, and that was about it. But I realized very quickly that to excel in this business, you need to have those systems. You need to have a structure in place, and we'll pick that conversation back up right after this break.
Hello everyone, my name is Jermaine Chambers, and I'm very excited to tell you about the newest political and current affairs program coming here to Brampton. It's called On Point.
The first step of true reconciliation is learning more about one another.
Join us on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we discuss all the issues.
I will never forget the trust you put in me.
Municipal, provincial, federal, and any issue of national importance, we will talk about On Point. So do join us.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Welcome back, everybody. Andrew Perry here with Kathleen Black. Thank you for sticking with us throughout that short break. We left the conversation about, how important, having structures and systems in place, and, what it takes to become successful in terms of, building a real estate team. So, Kathleen, would you kind of where would somebody start? And the reason why I love having you on, I love asking you this question, is because when I started, I didn't really have anybody to turn to like yourself, and I made a lot of mistakes. So if somebody's, when should somebody be in a position of even starting a team?
Be in a position of starting a team? That depends on quite a few factors.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say, the magic beautiful answer would be that they know themselves, they know their leadership type, they know how they assess risk, they know why they want to build the team, right? Who am I and why do I want to do this would be great.
Yeah.
Is that the reality of how most people build a team? No, right? We get really busy. We need help. We need time back. We need an organized business. We need someone we can rely on so we can take a night off, right? And that's how most people end up to build a team. I don't know, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But yeah, like they need some time off. So it's like, I need help, right? That's how most people build a team. So I mean, I think at the point when you need help, you probably are a little bit behind. Like if you're starting to get super busy, the people have had, let me say it this way, if you know you want to build a team, you're one of those like clear drivers, you're an implementer, you 100% know you are going to expand your business, then at that point you probably want to start to get your strategy and get some support as quick as you can. We say, what takes 10 years to create and perfect takes 2 years to duplicate, and even quicker as time goes on. The more we duplicate it, the quicker it goes. The people with top teams and top businesses in this country and in US as well didn't get there by recreating the wheel. They got there by plugging into proven systems, and those systems are different. Some of them are highly profitable, and you know what? Some of them just aren't, and that's a fact. And I know, the team industry people, some people don't like to talk about profit because it's like it's this bad word. Teams about culture and community. Teams are about culture and community. But when your team goes under because you're not making money, or you don't want to lead the team because you're not making an income and you're exhausted and you're still trying to sell to float the business, that's not fair to the community. That's not fair to the culture, right? So I would say, when do you start? If you have an excess of business, you need help. Get some structure, because to try to bring on help without structure, it is the revolving door, and you feel more burnt than before and more tired, and you have less time.
Right. So the first step, let me see if I can get this right. I mean, because the biggest mistake that I've made and the biggest mistake that I see other team leaders make is that they try to go too big too fast. And they say, okay, I don't even have an assistant yet, and I'm going to get this sales representative and this guy, and I want to recruit him from another brokerage. And is that necessarily the best idea?
Yeah, typically when we're in need of, if we're starving and someone hands us bread, we'll probably eat the bread, right? And that's not a bad thing to do, even if you try not to eat bread. No, I'm kidding. But somebody will usually show up, and we want them. It's not to say that isn't the right person, but usually what we think is the problem, as with most things, is not the problem, right? We think we need time. We think we need relief. We think we need somebody who can oversee parts of our business. What usually is the problem is we need clarity, we need strategy. Once we get that clarity and strategy, we need to be able to take the business and actually create a proper business with steps in it and what's required, like what's the protocol for each one of those steps, so somebody else can help us to our standard. Help to our standard is so very different, right? So the first step really is strategy, clarity. When you're clear, you'll do what you need to do to build. When you're not clear, you just want instant relief, which might be the person who shows up at the door who might, not have the skill set to support your client the way you would want them to.
Right. So I mean, essentially what you're saying is you need to be clear on what you want. What are you starting a team for? Is it to have that extra, freedom of time? Is it to really, take over that number one spot in your industry and build a successful brand and business? But I think, like you said, it's finding out what you want and go from there. So for most people, it's because they've gotten too busy, and they either need help with paperwork or they need help with they've got too many buyers on their plate. So where can they start? Should they look into getting an assistant first, or maybe a buyer's agent?
Yeah, typically for most people, it will be an unlicensed assistant or administrator. Okay. For most people, that makes the most sense. It's the least risky financially, right? Because the cost per hour, the salary is typically lower on an unlicensed person than licensed. It also will help you to take your business, like I said, take it into all those small pieces, because all of a sudden you need to communicate to somebody else what you do in between the licensed activities, right? It's the easiest piece to leverage. If you're a really high top producing listing agent and you want to, double your business, or you don't necessarily want to have a big team in the future, then you might go with a licensed assistant. Somebody who's really listing focused, a licensed assistant can double your business for sure, but it's going to put you behind on expanding the rest of the team, like your buyer's agents, or we don't do buyer's agents, but your independent agents. Like essentially, do you want a team that is just circling around you, revolving around you, and taking things off your plate, or do you want a team where people can work not fully independently, it's a team, but somewhat independently in their tasks and their genius, right? That's very different. So if you want to support other people working in their genius, then probably unlicensed assistant first.
Okay, all right. And is there any specific reason why you wouldn't, I guess you kind of touched on it, but why you wouldn't hire a licensed assistant? Is it because they're kind of in control and it might create a bad optics for the other team members? Because they're in control of the offers and things like that?
Oh, the licensed assistant? Yeah. No, I think it just depends on your strategy. Like for some people, again, it's all about your goal. Where do you want to go and why? We can reverse engineer that. But if it's like you don't know where you want to go, you're kind of like, let's just slap a few things together now. Sometimes you'll get stuck later, right? Yeah. Well, really, though, like we've all done it, right? There's times in my business where I'm like, I need a solution now. I know it's not the inevitable best solution. But the licensed assistant, again, the reason I wouldn't go with it first and foremost is because I know it doesn't help you to scale out right away into other independent team players. And so it's not, to have a strong licensed assistant, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, do you want to transfer business to other capable people, or do you want to be the business and have people support you? It's very different.
Okay, that makes total sense. And okay, so I know we've kind of dance around it a little bit, and I know everybody has a case by case. You have to judge it case by case, but is there a magic number that somebody that a realtor can do in terms of deals that maybe they've been getting too busy and need to start something? Is it 30 deals I've heard?
Like start expanding?
Yeah.
Have an unlicensed assistant?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's different for everybody, but.
Yeah, so I work with something that's called we call it the genius model. So the genius model is taking everything that you do in the business, and then you're going to kind of assign each of it a category. So it's an acronym, right? Mm-hmm. So like, for example, S is stop. Like, you're not good at this. You're costing yourself money. You're costing your business money. Yeah. Just stop. Like, let's take those things off your plate. And today we're so lucky that we have services and virtual assistants, and we have, so many different companies that do parts of a real estate business. So if you're really exhausted or struggling, or you find something that's not super important in the business is costing you time and money, start to try to delegate those things as soon as possible. Like, you could do that at 12 deals, at 17 deals. I encourage our client, train your brain to look, to leverage, and delegate as soon as you can. And then once you can, you will. But you have to be trained to see it.
Be able to see it. Okay, I understand. Now, the reason why I'm asking all these strategic questions is because I know the mistakes that I've made, and I'm sure that there's people out there that are kind of thinking the same thing. And so once we've got our unlicensed assistant and we've hired her, what are some of the what would you suggest? I guess it's different for everybody. What would you suggest that some of the tasks that they're taking off the average realtor's plate? I mean, is it social media? Is it offers?
Yeah, it can be social media. It's not always. For us, we do, we have checklists of everything, right, that would go through admin. So either you're going to create it for your business, which means take absolutely everything you do in the business. And it'll hurt a little bit to do this at first, but it'll pay you back, I promise, exponentially. So take everything from first step with a lead, even marketing, lead generation, before you have the lead. Take all of those steps in your business. What are all the steps you take with a buyer you want to take? What are they all with a seller that you'd like to take? What about after they're done and they're a past client now? Take all of those steps and then decide, A, which ones are most painful for you because you need to get your energy back to focus on income producing activities. And B, what is this unlicensed assistant going to be better at, more suited to? Because you're going to hire somebody who naturally is going to be better at those non-licensed tasks. So, it could be creating feature sheets. It could be calling sellers with feedback. It could be creating a market review package because the house hasn't sold and we committed to be in front of that seller within 30 days, right? I mean, the list goes on and on. It could be, for some people, they're doing the showings and bookings for them, right? But essentially, and creating offers, absolutely. Creating your CMAs, yeah.
Okay. So it's essentially, whatever you, don't have time to do anymore, or somebody else that you can hire that can do it much more, with much more focus, because you want to be focusing on getting more sales, right? And we're going to take a quick break and come back just after this.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. The large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
the ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, and we're back live with Kathleen Black. You know what, guys? I've really enjoyed this conversation so far, and I feel like, teams are so relevant. And anybody who's watching this would agree with me. And, we've talked a lot about, where you should start, when you're thinking about getting involved in a team. But I've invited Kathleen on the show because I want to hear more about her story and what she's doing, because she's involved in so many different things, essentially, with your events, in your coaching, and then now you're even working on a book as well.
I am. I'm almost done. So I was saying
You're almost done?
well, the first messy rough draft, which is how you write a book. But yeah, I'm almost done. 3.5 chapters, and it'll be off for editing. And I think the book's just to support the same mission, right? To support other people in how do you do this? Because for a lot of people, building a team is a messy first rough draft.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And we want to help them in the messy phase. Like, I don't want people coming to us once they built the team and got through the hardest part. And we know the majority of people don't succeed in building. We have that blueprint. So we want to support people in getting there.
Right. And so what's your plans with the book? Is it to help accompany one of your courses? Is it for everybody? What's your plans?
The book is for anybody who wants to understand how to live their mission and get their life back, right? So if you've built a successful business, like a lot of the people we work with, had these massive goals to build these successful businesses, and then they stepped into them and they all of a sudden realized, like, they weren't living the dreams they said. They were like, when my business makes this, I can go on that trip, or we can, have that recreational property, or whatever it is, or I can write my own book, right? Like, whatever it was they wanted, they're getting to that point and further, and they're still in that same scarcity mindset of when they were building the business in the first place. It's like that wolf, like on your, the 2 wolves, the one that you feed is the one that will overcome in your mind, right? So it's like, they're in this scarcity in real estate of like, I have to do another deal, I have to keep like hustling. And they get to a point where they're more abundant than ever, but they're not living abundantly, right? So I want to support those people. And hey, your business is great. Like, we can help you build a top 1% business. Like that for us is something we do all the time. It just is. But building a top 1% life, I'm really passionate about supporting people with. So the book is the first step of how do I start to leverage? And a lot of the people who will read the book won't necessarily want a big team. The goal is just to give them the choice, to build enough to get some relief and give them the choice to build one when they want, not cap themselves.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, I follow you on social media, so I'm always keeping up with what you're doing. And it appears like, you're taking all of your own advice. You travel a lot, right?
Yes.
How important is that to kind of just, wind down and do, because what was it that, I'm just remembering as soon as I thought about it, you did what did you do, a hike?
Yeah, I did this year, the Path of the Gods in Amalfi Coast, and then I went back to Italy and I did the hike between all the villages in, I say it wrong, but Cinque Terre, all the Italians are like, Kathleen, you're butchering our area, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I went back down and did the Path of Gods twice in one day, so I was super happy about that. Yeah, and the year before I did the Camino, but it's for the same reasons. It's like go in other environments where you can lean in and test yourself, because when you get in your business and when my energy's down, my business suffers, my team suffers, right? Like, I want to be creative, I want to be excited about what I do and bring it to the world. And I found that the more I leaned into keeping my energy up and the vision and kind of keeping the momentum going, our business just did better and better and better. And we follow all the same systems we teach.
Where is this? We've got something up from your Instagram. Where is this?
Where is that? I can't read it.
I can't see either.
It looks
I didn't have my glasses.
That looks like north. Yeah, Cinque Terre. I say Cinque Terre. That's not how you actually pronounce it. I get in trouble for it all the time. But yeah, it's like these beautiful fishing villages, and they've had, unfortunately, damage from the landslides a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
So you have to go up, all the way up in the mountain and down to each village. So it took me about 9 hours.
That's beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah, that's in the towns. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's unbelievable.
So how important is it to, obviously you went to challenge yourself, but how important is it for, someone, especially in a role like yourself, like how important is it to kind of just take some time for yourself, unplug for a little bit?
Yeah, I was working on the book there, the second trip, so I wanted to take some time in the second week I worked, but you have to. Like, what's the point of having a business that's just going to drain and exhaust you? Like, you're not going to be able to grow. So, self-care is very important. And that's why, to me, it's like top 1% life. 2 years ago, I started to do the Live Well Your Live tour for myself, where I said, hey, like, I want to lean into doing all these dreams I had that I put off. And I kept doing exactly what my clients were doing. And I called myself out on it huge. So I was like, how are you coaching people and telling them, why aren't you taking more time? Why aren't you living your dream? When are you going to do that? And my clients are saying to me, well, we're so busy. And I'm saying, well, when are you ever not busy? And never. Like, we're talking about people who sell like 80, 90, 100 homes themselves in a team, right? So I'm going, well, do you think you're going to be less busy 6 months from now? When was the last time you weren't busy? It's been years, right? And I really took a good look in the mirror and I said, you know what? We've always practiced what we preach. Like, you need to lean in and live some of these adventures.
So, because you said you had a psychology background, right?
Yeah.
So is that where this all comes from? I mean, the disc profiling, the self-care and things like that?
I think it's a combination. Like, I left home young, right? I had children, I got separated, I was on my own. I had to leave my house in 2 weeks. Like, I had to leave my past company unexpectedly. So I've been through things that have really made me want to understand how to reset myself. And I think I'm just as passionate about helping other people do that, because I think people get into these mentalities that they can't do things, or like, when I was young, they're like, you live on your own, you can't go to university. I'm like, guess what? Like, watch me, right?
Yeah.
They're like, they won't give you OSAP. Then I had my son. They won't support you. Really? Watch me. But the world was almost fighting me, right? And I was like, what's going on? So I always wanted to understand, like, why is it like that? Why is it when we try to reach out and do something amazing, that almost feels like the world's trying to pull you down? So I thought, instead, I want to help the people who are reaching up. And I want to help so they don't stop, right?
Yeah. Well, so you've started, how many coaches do you have now?
How many coaches do we have now? We have
No, you got my man, Kevin Avery.
Kevin has gone, he's a really cool story, because he came to coaching because he wasn't loving real estate anymore.
Yeah.
And got into coaching, fell back in love with real estate, is building his business completely in real estate. So like perfect, like you come in those performance environments and you reallocate, right? But I think at this point, I should know right off the bat, but I don't. I think we have 8. And we're just about to do another recruitment. So by next year, we'll have tripled our coaching team and our sales team.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And just how you balance it all and still manage to have time to take care of yourself, right? I mean, you care about your health, right? Are you still doing yoga? You're still working out?
Oh, yeah, I run, and this morning I went to yoga at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember that because I think at your events you have like an early morning yoga session or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and we're a running club. Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, how do you alter to get in that state where all the, like, think about when you've had like your best deal or your best week. You're in that state where everything's just flowing, right? It's all just happening, and you can see everything coming together. You're in optimal mindset. You set goals in that place, but then when you set the goals in that optimal mindset, you have to be able to stay there.
Yes.
Because you can't bring them to fruition unless you're in the same mindset, right?
Right. And I totally believe it, because I've just been getting back into working out. Like, I was fairly fit for a while, and then real estate got busy, and then I started to, skip the gyms, 1 day a week, 2 day a week, and then I was skipping it for months. And then a year went by, and you're exactly what you were saying. Like, you're never not busy, and it's only getting more busier. But I think I was getting so run down and so tired that I've been back at the gym now 3 and a bit months, and I'm feeling good. I'm waking up earlier. I'm tackling more things that I was putting off every morning.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that you take some time for yourself. And you know what? We are. This is a good segue into our next. We're a little early for our break, but we're going to take it and we're going to jump into how you can get involved with Kathleen Black coaching.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. The large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
The ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
The things that I do today, I had a huge frustration that there was no community involvement. It was very difficult for me. I got into real estate thinking I'd use it as a platform to give back. I totally get how hard it is. As business leaders, I think sometimes we hear culture like, I get it, that is so important, but how do I hold it? How do I actually carve this out? How do I make it? What we say is powerful. So if you're trying to change your culture, watch the language on the team. And I'm talking about language that creates belief about how we see our clients, what motivates us, what our values are. That language rubs off on everyone around us. So if you're looking for clues, I'd say start with the language. Start to reframe a couple of things. And it's bigger than you. Culture isn't just about one.
Welcome back, everyone. What you're just watching is the home video from Kathleen Black, speaks.com, right?
Kathleen Speaks, or It Takes a .team.
It takes a .team.
As it does.
Yes, oh, absolutely. So with the majority of that footage was from, or it's from all your events, really, I guess, right? But the one that I recognize the most is the one that you do in Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And are you doing it this year, the Ultimate Team Summit?
We are. It's coming up November 6th to 8th, Ultimate Team Summit. We're taking the event, I always say up a notch, but every year we try to. And yeah, we have some really cool like VIP experiences this year with the speakers and having lunch separate and mastermind. So yeah, like we're just upping the energy. I'm all about making it like, I want your mind engaged, but also I want your body engaged. Like I want you energized, engaged. I want you getting up and interactive, because then we retain information more too, right? When we're engaged physically.
Yeah, release those endorphins.
Yeah.
But I mean, the best thing that I love about that event is, and especially if you're looking to get involved in a team, or you're on a team and you're looking to take it to the next level. What I really love about that Ultimate Team Summit event is that it's the content's amazing, absolutely. The speakers are phenomenal. You get engaged. Last year we had David Greenspan, right?
Yeah, he's coming back.
Is he?
Yeah,
Very motivating guy. I love listening to him. But for me, the best part is networking with all the people that come to the events, because not only are they in the same boat as you, but there's others there that have been doing it for years. Absolutely. There's other people that are, they've done it for a year or so, and they're not having the success they want. So whoever you meet there is a really good chance that they're going to have a similar story. And so what are the kind of things that you're learning at this event?
A lot. So essentially, like the one thing that we haven't completely changed is that we have a custom schedule. So if you're coming and you're an administrator or a team support, highly valuable, right, in a team, you're going to go to some sessions that are just for you. If you're an individual sales agent, you're like, I'm not on a team, I don't want to be on a team, I just want to build my business, we'll give you a recommended agenda, as well as team leaders and then sales agents overall, right? So, and brokers. So it's quite unique in that way that we're all together in keynote sessions where David Greenspan is the MC, so he's going to be talking a lot about brand creation, mind sharing, your community, center of influence systems. We have David Jenkins coming back to talk about the non-negotiables when it comes to email marketing. We have a huge change back to people getting massive success in our network in email marketing in the last couple of years with their extensive databases. And a lot of teams struggle with center of influence. You have Kelly Scar coming in from Calgary talking about how
he's coming in?
He is. He's talking about how he 20x'd his 10x'd or 20x. He's going to be like, Kathleen, I'll check on the website. 10x. We have 20x'd a couple businesses, but 10x'd his brokerage with recruitment. We have Shannon is going to be talking about taking your annoyance into abundance and creating more listings now with lead conversion. And Shannon Smith is the best, hands down, for online lead conversion and inside sales. I'm missing a ton of people. Ron James is doing an actually interactive musical session. I'm so excited.
No way.
Yeah, because how we memorize like presentations and scripts is very similar to how we memorize, like internalize music, and we can use it to help us do it quicker and more effortlessly. So he's doing a whole interactive session.
I mean, that entire lineup. So we have some of the lineup right there, but that entire lineup is insane.
Yeah, Dion Bagg is actually, and we have a
Mike
wealth.
Keto.
Yeah, we have a wealth building panel because we're really passionate about helping people develop financial wealth or abundance so they have choices, right? Which obviously was a bit important to me. But Dion is doing a full presentation that he goes out to people's teams and does a presentation on how to invest, which helps the people, the community of the team get into investment properties. So it helps the team, helps Dion, helps their community. And we have done a ton of, we always test things like beta the year before. So these are the people who have shined this year with results.
What a fantastic concept.
And I might be there. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be there.
But I do like how you're bringing that into this, into the team building space, because I am seeing a lot of teams that are actually combining some of their investment projects together.
Yeah.
Right. So that's amazing. Okay, and then so we have that's coming up. When is that coming up?
November 6th to the 8th. And it's available to register at at ultimateteamsummit.com.
Yes.
You can go direct.
Right. And so you can bring yourself. A lot of the people that I met throughout the event, they came with their either team members, they came with their admin staff, and it's a 2-day event.
It's 3 days, but it's like half day first day,
that's
half
right.
day last day. And we have a ton of full teams who have registered. We're like way up in attendees this year from last year at this time. So we're super excited actually.
Great. And then so you have another the 100 Deal Summit in that invitation?
We do confirm production. So we invite everybody that we have in our system as like 100 deal plus teams. They're invited to come to that, and if they're not a coaching client, because coaching clients we already have their production verified, right?
We know.
But outside, but outside people, then we do verified, and that's in June. But what's really cool is Ultimate Team Summit has the Ultimate Mastermind Series, right? So we have masterminds for sales agents, team leaders, and we have a 100 deal plus session there as well, which is really cool. Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. And so. Now the event's great. We can go to your website. We can check that all out. But how does someone go about either hiring you or finding out more information about how to get started with coaching and consulting?
Yeah, we do. Well, there's a couple ways. Like we have, if you can go on our website and get a strategy session there, you can actually do an instant business assessment on our website as well, which is going to give you some feedback on areas that you're leveraging well, or that your systems are strong, or maybe areas that are not. Which for most people who are building a team, they get kicked with the places they didn't even know to look, right?
Yeah.
So we want to bring some awareness of, hey, maybe you didn't look at this area yet. Maybe look at it in the next year or two to help you grow. So that's instant. It's free. That's just online. You don't even have to talk to us if you don't want to. But if you want to talk to us, we love strategy sessions. They're not a sales session. They are strategy. Here's where you're saying you are. Here's where how we would help you get there. If you want our help, cool. And if you're not ready, that's okay too. Like we're big on give first, and we want to support people building. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, and I mean, from there, can they set up like a consultation call with one of the coaches? How does that work?
Well, the strategy calls are with team building experts. Actually, they aren't with strictly sales. Like we don't do that. So you're actually having a team building expert doing the strategy call with you. And from there, we can let you know if it's a team coaching level package that's best for you, a membership, because really it's about the ecosystem, the community, or an individual. We coach individual agents as well.
Oh, so there's different kind of tiers, different tiers.
Yeah, 3 team tiers, because our big teams are on mastery, right? We might coach their inside sales and their sales agents and have a call with the team leader. So it just depends.
Okay, so it's a completely tailored package for what the average realtor, or what the realtor's needs are. That's amazing. Okay, and then next, let's do some social media plugs, because I would love to get some people following you in your journey, because you've done an amazing job. Like you said, it's all about offering value, and I feel that you do that more so than most of the coaches that I've met. That's for sure. So where can we find you?
All social media platforms. No, on Instagram, we are, I think, Real Estate Team. There, thank you. Real Estate Team Coaching. Or when you search my name, Kathleen Black, it comes up. Social media, we have Kathleen Black Coaching and Consulting on Facebook, as well as Ultimate Team Summit. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter. The only thing I'm admittedly horrible at, and I've tried a Snapchat. Like we're right now hiring marketing and social media, and I mean, we won't give up on Snapchat, but I'm not on it right now.
Yeah, well,
I'm not active on it right now.
Well, honestly, most of my Snapchats are just from my mom and my nanny and my other family members, my cousins. So, okay, Kathleen, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So, everyone, if you didn't catch all those social media handles, we did enter them into the post description. Thank you very much for tuning in for another episode of the Daily Reel. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next week here at the MyTCN Studios in Brampton.